Okay, now we're moving on to the parabola. And I'm going to take this probably in 3 different videos just to make it easier for me. So to graph a parabola, I want you to know your VOA first. Then find your x-intercept, your y-intercept, and I want 5 points. So if you still don't have 5 points after all this, you have to do the famous plug and chug. So the vertex is just like the V-shaped graph. Opposite number is x, opposite number is y. So it'd be 1, -4. It opens up. The axis is x equals 1. Now, I like to graph as soon as I find the VOA, the information. So it's 1, -4. So 1, -4. The axis is a dashed line, and it's opening up. So I would expect 2 x-intercepts. So let's find the x-intercepts. Put 0 in for y. So I have 4 equals x minus 1 squared. Square root both sides, so it'd be plus or minus 2 equals x minus 1. Add 1 to both sides. So I get 1 plus 2 is 3, or 1 minus 2 is -1. The y-intercept, put 0 in for x, so I'd have y plus 4 equals 0 minus 1 is -1. Squared is 1. Subtract 4. So 3 or -1 is my x-intercepts. 1, 2, 3. -1. Notice they're both 2 units away from the axis, so I would expect that to be right. The y-intercept's -3. 1, 2, 3. But if there's a point 1 unit to the left, there has to be a point 1 unit to the right. Remember, it's a curve. Here, I got that a little bit off. There we go. Wee. So for this one, right now, do you know your VOA? Find it right now and then turn me back on. Okay, so it'd be -2, -1. It's opening down, and the axis is x equals -2. So -2, -1, that would be right here. Axis. It's opening down, so I would expect no x-intercepts. Now let's say you didn't notice that. So I go to find my x-intercept, put 0 in for y. So to solve this for x, I'm going to take the opposite of both sides. Oh no! Square root both sides, that's plus or minus I. My I popped out. You can't graph an I on the Cartesian coordinate system. So as soon as I see that, I know there are no x-intercepts. But to be honest, you should have seen it down here. It's below the axis opening down. There's no way it could cross. So let's find our y-intercept. Put 0 in for x. 0 plus 2 is 2. Squared is 4. Take the opposite. So I'd have y plus 1 equals -4. So y equals -5. So I'm going to put a dot at -5 on the y-axis. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. If there's a value 2 units to the right, there has to be a value 2 units to the left. Now, I don't have 5 points. Mr. Murphy wants 5 points. So we're going to do the ever-popular plug and chug. So I know what happens when x is 0, when x is -2, and when x is -4. So I'm going to let x equal -1 and see what happens. So I'm going to plug -1 in. I'd have y plus 1 equal the opposite of -1 plus 2 squared. -1 plus 2 is 1. Squared is 1, so I have y plus 1 equals the opposite of 1. -1 plus 2 is 1. Squared is 1. Take the opposite. Subtract 1. Y would be -2. So I'd have the point -1, -2. So let's put that. Yowzer. -1, -2. Hey, if there's a point 1 unit to the right, there has to be a point 1 unit to the left. There's my 5 points. Notice I'm curving it a little bit off. Yowzer. So there's graphing parabolas. Have fun.